G'day guys, Defiant from Defiant Mods here. Today something a little different. I'm having a lot of filament woes at the moment as my filament has outgrown my ability to store it anymore. I've come up with some real clanger of ideas on ways to store and keep my filament, or our filament. The wife's in this with me. It's our project. It's our venture. But yeah, we're really stuck. You know, with well over a few hundred rolls of filament now. We are just literally running out of places to keep it, and it's everywhere. You know, I've got it stacked up. I've got it in boxes. I've got it in bags. My ABS is a nightmare. Finding colour rolls is a nightmare. We've got it stored in those little plastic containers, 5 drums to a container. You know, we've got it every which way but loose, and it's absolutely driving us mad when we want to go and quickly grab a roll of filament and throw it on a printer. And if you own Bamboo Labs, you know how quick you can literally watch rolls of filament disappear before your very eyes. So you know they gobble up filament like there's no tomorrow, those machines. So we're forever getting in fresh stock and looking for somewhere to put the fresh stock, and we want to see what we've got. We want to see the different colors. We want to be able to pick them out easy. So originally I was having thoughts about building some sort of wild and imaginable bespoke idea on a wall, you know, much like Joel, the 3D printing nerd, or, you know, having a closet, you know, like Filament Stories does, just jam-packed with all the filaments. But I don't quite have as much as 3D Filament Stories does. I think I got a fair bit more than poor old Joel, the printing nerd. But look, it really is getting out of control. So I was driving along the other day, and on a loading dock, I noticed somebody had thrown out a couple of these IKEA shelves. And I'm not sure, I think these IKEA shelves are just a standard thing. And I'm pretty sure they would have come with some sort of glass. That wasn't there. And at first I was sort of, I was a bit hesitant to take them. And I thought, you know what, if I just take them, I might come up with an idea, and I have. I think I've got this down pat. I think I've got the right idea, and I think it's going to be cost effective, and I think it's not going to cost, cost effective as in not cost a truckload of money. So basically what I've come up with is just running simple rods through there like that, as you can see. Taped in nicely, but we'll get to that in a minute. And then I can have a front row of filaments, and it looks like I'll get 6 easy to that row there, maybe 7. But the trick is there's all this space up above, and I don't want to waste that. And I don't want to have these on shelves. I know just simply, just cutting some board, I got plenty of board, I could cut boards and sit them on shelves. That is a real pain in the ass. It's just driven us nuts having our filaments sitting on shelves. Sure, you can put a little runner in front of them to hold them in place, but it doesn't look good. I want this to look sexy, I want it to look nice. I want it to, when we walk into the room and we see all our filaments all lined up, they look good. So basically I've got 2 of these shelves. There's 2 of these shelves plus 1 more. So I managed to get 3. But the other one is just half of one of these shelves, which isn't that bad. So the trick that I think what I'm going to do is I want to run a 3rd rod through okay, so these rods, I've just picked these up from Bunnings for $3 a pop, and they are just alloy rods, thin alloy rods, but they are strong enough to hold the weight. They've got plenty of strength in them to hold this weight. If I find that the flex becomes too much, I could just run a brace from here, that tab to that tab, and sort it. Then that will prop it up in the middle, and these then become ultra strong. There's no dramas with weight then. So what the idea was, at $3 a pop, I run 3 of these per level. Now, I probably won't do it right down the bottom. I think down the bottom I will put shells in them, and I'm going to use that for bulk. So all the boxed filament that's still in boxes. So as we order it in from the local suppliers, we do try and support the local guys. So we're always on Facebook, always on Gumtree looking for the local guys, and we do try and support these guys. I mean, this is all about, you know, us making money foremost. As a couple, as an old elderly couple running a small farm at home, it is all about us. But it's all about a hobby. We enjoy the hobby. We get immense pleasure out of printing and seeing what we've printed. You know, there's nothing as, you know, if you 3D printed anything overnight, there's nothing as much fun as coming out in the morning and seeing your creation sitting there on the bed, 3D printed. It's a fantastic. It's akin to, for us, it's akin to having another kid. You know, it's great, and we're having kids all day, mate. We got kids popping up left, right, and centre now. We're having a ball with it. So yeah, the only downside now is this filament drama that we seem to be having. But yeah, these rods at $3 a pop. So if I can run 3 of these here, and then I'm thinking one along the front here. Sorry about this. And then the other one I'm going to sit somewhere about here, so then I can prop up another row of filament along there. Now you can see that it's going to be sitting up off the side strut there, off the side brace. So what I'm thinking is I might try 3D printing a seat, a little bracket, or a whole unit, a 3D printed thing that sort of slips over the side on both sides, so it's rigid, so it can't move side to side. It'll butt up against that edge, and I'll have a little groove that'll hold this one in place. Somewhere about here, I can start to brace it, bracket it, and have it coming up on the angle to hold this one up here. And then this one here can simply somehow be attached to the back wall permanently, or to the back brace area permanently. And then that would give me, by my calculations, if I'm running 6, I can get 12 rolls in that area, 20 rolls there, 24 rolls, and then you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 shells. So 24 times 4, and then across the next 2. And this should give me storage, hopefully, to hold maybe a couple of hundred between the 3 shells, a couple of hundred rolls of filament, which I think is a pretty good solution. That's not going to cost us $1, of course, you know. And the shells themselves aren't the most rigid. I think they're all screwed together. So I'll sit down and go through and nip up all the screws, see if I can just make it a little bit tighter. Yeah, they do. They have like little screws up there in the corner. There's even a little hole up here, so that'll work in my favour. So I should be able to 3D print some sort of drop down bracket that I can just screw through there that'll possibly hold that. So that's sorted. I can do the same in the middle, chuck something in the middle, same up that end, and that'll work really well. Well, I hope it will. And it seems that's going to be a really cost-effective, cheap solution to some filament storage. Then the next thing is these will go into a small room out the back that I've recently drywalled. And put a false ceiling into. I've added some ventilation and an LED oyster light up top. So it'll all be nice and modern little room printed out the back, ready to rock and roll. These will go in and run along one small wall, or the long wall, I should say, the longest wall. And then we'll also have room for other shells that I can put in there, and we can start putting stock on those shells. I've been knocking out as many of those little skull things up the back there. Dragon skulls. The wife's been doing a really good job with those, and it'd be nice to have somewhere to put those until we pack them and send them off. So having a room for it, rather than what you've obviously seen, the 3D printing room that we've got out the back with the printers in it. Then we can have a little smaller room as a filament storage room, and then we should be able to control that with dehumidifiers, a couple of nice dehumidifiers in there, and possibly even a small heater just to keep things dry. But yeah, guys, something a little bit different, but I'm sure it's close to everyone's heart. You know, everyone that's sort of in the same boat as we are. You know, 3D printing and trying to sort out filament storage. Now, I've seen these on IKEA. I know it's IKEA. On the back of it, they're called something. One of those funny IKEA names that they call it. You know, they give everything a weird sounding Huda Gutensbergen name. But it's got one of those funny names, and you can pick them up. So I don't know what they'd be worth as a proper full unit. Probably not worth trying it if that's the case, because you're obviously buying it at full price. But if, you know, to pick them up for free, a couple, you know, 3 like I did off the side of from a loading dock for free. I hope they were chucked out, and old if I didn't just roll on through and scoop up somebody's shelving. That'd be a bit of a low blow. But I'm pretty sure they were chucked out. You know, they had no glass shelves with them, of course. So. I haven't had a knock on the door from the cops, so but yeah, that's something a little different, and yeah, I'll definitely post up pictures once it's all done and they're all set up, and the room's looking good, and I'll give you a little showcase. That's all for now. Cheers, guys. Have a good one.